Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are back down there to Playmaker Silence, Dollars Glenn, college football. How you doing, sir?
Doing good, doing good. How about you?
I'm good. Disclaimer real quick. If you're a Big Ten fan of any team in the Big Ten, don't get too sensitive because Dallas is going to take some shots and they might actually hurt. So be prepared because we're talking about the Big Ten. And, you know, Ohio State won the Big Ten last year. They won the Rose Bowl. They beat Washington. But Urban Meyer left, so we have a new head coach. Before I go any further, Dallas, you did a poll question on Twitter, didn't we?
Yes. And basically, hilariously, the vast majority of people, over 80%, believe that Ohio State is going to repeat as the Big Ten champions despite the coaching changes, despite losing their quarterback to the NFL, and despite the fact that Jim Harbaugh is probably coaching for his job this year. The only other team to get a vote, Darnell? Michigan State.
Twitter's harsh.
Anything happen on Facebook?
So, the whole thing with Ohio State, I think the fact that Ohio State quarterback will be Justin Fields from Georgia. He's a dual threat guy, so you know, keeping a dual threat is still intact at Ohio State. That on Facebook, it wasn't. He had some votes, but there's a lot of opinions out here. You know, anywhere from Ohio State getting blown out by another unranked team. Somebody's just
okay.
You know, some people do believe that this is the year for Harbaugh to get it done, but they're not betting on it.
As they shouldn't.
Some people think Iowa was going to win the West.
I mean, damn, have you looked at the West?
Some people got Wisconsin not coming out of there. You know, one guy broke it all down. Like he said, don't sleep on Penn State.
I will sleep on
Western.
Jesus.
So yeah, it's like the Big Ten. Look, like there's a lot of questions going on.
Do you have like a lot of people from up north in the Facebook groups that you're in? Like a lot of diversity in opinion for a conference that, you know, hasn't really mattered.
One guy actually said that does the Big Ten really matter?
Yeah, like I mean, they mattered the very first year of the playoff, and ever since then.
Oh, and I had some people say that they will be out of the playoffs for another year.
Let's talk about this real quick. Darnell, how the hell did the Big Ten win the inaugural college football playoff championship? And they share with the Pac-12 the horrible distinction of being the only Power 5 conference to have their conference champions not be in the playoff multiple years. Oh, well, you know, the Big 12. But the weird thing about that is once the Big 12 made a conference championship game, they've been in every year. It was really that simple. I mean, it's the year Penn State won it. Ohio State got in. Constraint the schedule, all that other BS. But Ohio State got snubbed in favor of an independent team and a team from the Big 12 that everybody knew was going to get smoked by Alabama. How do we all know Oklahoma is going to get smoked by Alabama and the Big Ten champion still isn't better than Oklahoma? They were 13-1, Darnell.
Look.
And the hell, let me find it. What was the one? Oh, Purdue. Hell, it was a conference opponent on the road.
Unranked.
Well, you know, shit happens. Clemson beat a non-ranked team to win the conference.
The year after, Iowa did it to them.
Oklahoma didn't even look like they belonged in the same conversation as Alabama by the end of the first quarter. By the end of the first quarter, we understood the mistakes that we had made. And don't even get me started on the Clemson Notre Dame game. Cherry picking the ACC that wasn't the best move, hindsight being 2020. But, hey, that's what we're working with. We're talking about a conference where the overall favorite is a team that has a new quarterback that just got to the school, just got to the system, and the system itself is changing because Urban Meyer retired again because of scandal. Again. You got a team in transition, huge transition, being the overall overwhelming favorite to win the conference. And it's just like, dude, Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Iowa are basically the same damn team with different colors. And who the hell is really picking Penn State to do anything when they're in the same division as Michigan State, Michigan, and Ohio State? How?
Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is, Ohio State's a favorite yet again. Somehow, some way, Jim Harbaugh, I don't know like this is it. This is it. If you can't do it this year, you never gonna do it.
You're almost as hard as him this year as I was on him last year.
There's so many changes at Ohio State right now. Do we expect Ryan Day to keep the chain going at Ohio State like Urban Meyer?
Florida State and Arizona should tell you that you cannot expect to keep the momentum going. New head coaches, coaching matters. Head coaches matter. Doesn't matter who is, on the NFL draft boards. Doesn't matter, what everything. Like, stop. Players play. This is true. And great players win games, sometimes in spite of their coaches. But this is college. This is the college level. Guys, the favorite in this conference is a team with a new head coach that right now is the head coach because Urban Meyer left and yet another skid. He pulled a Pete Carroll twice. And your quarterback, like, bruh, like, really think about it. If Jim Harbaugh does not beat Ohio State, what is he? Because if he doesn't beat Ohio State, Michigan's not making the playoff. That's the first thing. I think we both can agree on that. You don't beat Ohio State, you're not making the playoff. Because if you don't beat Ohio State, it means Ohio State's going to have the tiebreaker, and Ohio State's going to win the conference. And after last year, in that precedent, you're not going to be good enough to get an at-large playoff bid. That's for the birds. So Jim Harbaugh, if we lose to Ohio State, everything's basically over. We don't want a New Year's Six bowl game. We damn sure don't want a non-New Year's Six bowl game. We don't want coach speak either. This is how many years he's been in Michigan Darnell for? Ever since he left the NFL, he went back to his alma mater, Michigan. And the only reason why he hasn't had a chance to compete for a national championship is because he can't beat one school. Now, it happens to be the biggest rival, happens to be the most powerful school in the conference, but it's still one school. At one point, Michigan was number 3 in the country. They could walk into the damn playoff. They could fall in back first into the playoff. Also, Ohio State. Then they, lost to a couple other teams. It was bad. It was just a collapse.
I wasn't gonna bring it up. I was gonna be nice about it. Harbaugh, you gotta the West. Like I said, the West is about everybody. Everybody's the same. They just got on different colors. You want to pick Wisconsin? You want to pick Iowa? Northwestern, who you want to pick? At this point, it probably don't even matter. Because they probably end up Iowa State or Michigan anyway.
Maybe you got a 7-sided die, just roll it.
Whoever it lands on, that's who it lands on. You have any of the schedules in front of you right now?
Let's see here. I think. Nope. Big Ten website only has the old ones. Let me find them. Go to FBS.
I got my schedule right here. So FAU State opening game. Check mark.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati comes to Ohio State. Check mark. Indiana, Miami of Ohio, Nebraska before they play Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
Bye week at Northwestern. October 18th. Boy, that's a Friday night too. Oh, October 18th, Friday night. Yes.
Ooh.
Then the following week is Wisconsin. Ooh. Another bye week. Maryland, Rutgers, and their final two games is home at Penn State and at Michigan. That's about 4 games. There's about 4 games they could possibly lose.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna ask you a question, real quick, because I do have like the Big Ten teams that are playing, and I do have key games that they will be playing in front of me on ESPN.com. We did it last week because we had to figure out who was going to be the top 5 in the group of 5, and for whatever reason, we did it in the ACC. But see, the ACC, we know that whoever is the ACC champion has to beat Clemson or is Clemson, and they're going to make the playoff. Do you really want to go through Iowa's schedule, Rutgers' schedule, or do you just want me to find their sorry asses on here and see if I can find the key games for them? Minnesota is making the playoff if they win the conference. I promise you. Illinois making the playoff if they win the conference. I promise you. Maryland is not winning the conference. Not getting the playoff if they win the conference. I promise you. Only 2 teams are making the playoff if they win the conference. And even then, they might not make the damn playoff if they win the conference.
I know this, though. I know Michigan. They opened up in Middle Tennessee before they play Army. Where we talked about that game last week when we were doing the group of 5. They got a bye week before they go to Wisconsin. They should beat Rutgers, and then it's home to then it's a home game against Iowa. Now we get into the fun part. You at Illinois, you go to Penn State before you come home to Notre Dame. And then you got to go to Maryland before you have your other bye week. Then you finish it off with Michigan State at home, at Indiana, and Ohio State. Harbaugh better have some fun. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, so, because I'm gonna try to make it easy on everybody, because the real debate here is really between 3 or 4 teams. And also, Darnell, I just realized that, we haven't even began to start thinking about our potential brackets. So with that being said, and this conference might not even being in the goddamn bracket, I'm going to just go week by week and see the games where the sorry teams are going to eliminate themselves from conference contention. Rutgers plays UMass. Now, you would be thinking to yourself, Dallas, you said you were going to go against key games. Dude, it's Rutgers. UMass could get that game. It's going to be on the Big Ten Network, and it's a night game on a Friday. Rutgers loses that game, that's a wrap. A team that we are on looking out for in the group of 5 plays Purdue that same night, a 9:30 game. Purdue has to go on the road to Nevada August 30th. That is a game that they can probably lose. That will be on CBS Sports Network. Purdue will probably be out of playoff contention once they lose that game. Let's see.
The tricky Wolfpack.
Tricky. Northwestern goes to Stanford Saturday, August 31st to play a 4 o'clock game on Fox.
That's the opener?
Stanford needs to get that win on its resume. They need to run down Northwestern's throat and beat the absolute brakes off of them. They have been rebuilding for too long. Northwestern is going to be out of playoff contention once they lose that game. Let's see here. A very tricky one, depending on how Syracuse rebounds after losing all that talent. Saturday, September 7th, 12 o'clock p.m., a noon game, unlisted on TV because they know what's about to happen. Syracuse must face Maryland at Maryland.
Oh.
Maryland has to host a team that won double-digit games last year. Darnell, they will be out of playoff contention.
Start right there. Because I'm going to give you Penn State. I'm going to give you the stretch Penn State got to go through. From September 14th all the way down to October 26th.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh at Maryland, Purdue at Iowa, Michigan at Michigan State.
Penn State will be out of playoff contention. Purdue, September 7th, noon game. They host Vanderbilt. Darnell, it doesn't matter. Kentucky last year showed, as long as they have that SEC crest on their jersey, be afraid. Be very afraid. Nebraska has to go to Colorado September 7th. Nebraska will probably be out of playoff contention. Illinois has to face the newly independent UConn in their last season in a conference. That could be tricky. You never know. Illinois ain't that strong themselves. Illinois could be out of playoff contention. Minnesota has to face Fresno State at Fresno State. Darnell, Minnesota is probably going to be, by that point, out of playoff contention. Indiana, God bless their souls, has to play Ohio State September 14th. I forgot Indiana was a Power 5 team. They're out of playoff contention. Maryland has to play Temple that same week. Ooh, Penn State has to play Pitt. But you mentioned that. That'll be a fun stretch. Minnesota gets to play Georgia Southern. Triple option. Damn, what a schedule. Northwestern has to go to UNLV goes to Northwestern. They'll probably get that, but UNLV is always tricky. Let's see here. Did you mention that Michigan State has to play Arizona State?
I have no idea. Matter of fact, what is they schedule? Let me look at their schedule.
Yeah, Michigan State's a contender. Find their whole schedule. I don't have to blow through them. Iowa has to play Iowa State at Iowa State. Iowa State, more than likely, will be out of playoff contention. Purdue, God bless the dead, Darnell. They have to host TCU September 14th. By the end of week 5, Purdue will for sure be out of conference contention.
I don't think I want to be that team after what Ohio State escaped TCU last year, and they got another Big Ten team on their schedule. Yeah, I'm expecting TCU to.
Northern Illinois. People, watch out for this. Northern Illinois has to travel to Nebraska. That will be a Fox game on FS1 Saturday, September 14th. Circle it. That's important. Nebraska could be out of conference contention.
Did you just say a team that we talked about in the group of 5?
I did. A group of 5, somebody outside looking in. The only MAC team that'll have a shot to do anything relevant, it's Nebraska. If you can name me one impact player on Nebraska, I will retract. Okay.
Schedule. Oh my goodness. Matter of fact, that Arizona State game is the beginning of a stretch that I'm looking like, oof. So they home to Arizona State. They got to go to Northwestern. Indiana's sandwich in between, but they at Ohio State, at Wisconsin before they fight. They can win at least one game, which would be Indiana, but the motherfucker,
they might be out of playoff contention. Nebraska at Illinois. Cannibalism at its finest. One of those teams for sure may be worrying about if they're in bowl contention. Rutgers has to host Boston College September 21st, my birthday and Belize Independence Day. Rutgers could be worrying about being in bowl contention.
All right, check this. Ooh, my goodness. Ow. So I ain't looking at Wisconsin's schedule yet, but I'm looking at Iowa's schedule. And I'm thinking Wisconsin might have the shot to win it because Middle Tennessee on the 28th of September, then at Michigan, home to Penn State, home to Purdue, and at Northwestern before they go on the bye week.
You know what? Let's be fair. Go ahead and find Wisconsin's schedule because Wisconsin isn't going to be ass. Wisconsin plays that style of football where you're guaranteed to at least be bowl eligible. That being said, if you can chew up the clock and play defense, it doesn't matter what level of football you're on. You have a chance to win games you're not supposed to win. So who are Wisconsin's key games for the rest of the season? Going from September 28th.
Open up against South Florida on the 30th of this month.
Ooh.
In Tampa.
With their style of football, they should run away with that game. South Florida can't hang. Not all 60 minutes.
And then tricky Central Michigan is coming to Wisconsin.
Again, they are tricky, but it's one of those things where it's like, how do you keep a tricky team off the field?
So they have a bye week, and then Michigan.
Their bye week is week 3?
Yeah, that was bye week.
Oh, God. Oh, wait. Hold on. I don't know about that.
Home to Michigan, home to Northwestern, home to Kansas State, home to Michigan State, at Illinois, at Ohio State before they have their second bye week.
Pound the rock.
And after that bye week, home to Iowa, at Nebraska, home to Purdue, at Minnesota to finish out.
Pound the rock. That's the only way you'll survive. Do not try to outthrow those teams, even though they probably can't outthrow themselves. Just pound the rock. That is, well, Ugh. Now, back to our rush scheduled programming of wondering which teams are even going to make a bowl, Darnell. Another instance of cannibalism, September 28th, to be decided which time it'll be. Purdue has to host Minnesota. Northwestern goes to Nebraska. At that point, Nebraska is going to be looking kind of dry.
And that's after Northwestern plays at Wisconsin.
Yeah, I mean, but dude, Nebraska's a bounce back game. Nebraska is in a perpetual rebuilding mode right now. Well, no. Let me chill because that one guy that only beat Auburn. That one guy that beat Auburn.
And Pat Fitzgerald, you better do something because UNLV, Michigan State, at Wisconsin, at Nebraska before they have another bye week.
Indiana and Rutgers, October 12th. That might be their bowl game at this point. Then after October 18th, they're pretty much in the conference schedule. Notre Dame is going to face Michigan. That's a big game. Yeah, that's the only big game because Liberty is going to Rutgers, and Rutgers is probably going to drop that one to screw that pooch. God bless Rutgers. I don't see a game on here Rutgers is supposed to win. UMass at Northwestern, that's supposed to be a cupcake. However,
I just looked at Purdue schedule, and I don't think you noticed this, but yeah, Purdue's going to be. The 3 games that you said about Purdue, they all back-to-back.
Bro, I'm not going to lie to you, Darnell. You said I was going to take shots, and I've been taking shots, but, this one I have to be serious. I don't see how the hell Rutgers went 1-11 last year. They lost every conference game and lost every game in their division. And let me see. What game did they even win? Hold on. They beat Texas State to open up the season. They blew the hell out of Texas State. They beat Texas State 35-7, then proceeded to get their ass handed to them every week after that game. Rutgers will not make the playoffs. They will not make the New Year's Six. They will not win their division. They will not be in contention for their division, which means they will not be in contention for their conference. And damn it if I say, I don't know what the hell the student athletes of Rutgers football team will be doing in December, but they'll probably be going to class because they will not be getting ready for a bowl game. I wish there was an NIT for football, but Rutgers wouldn't even make that.
That's damn bad. Look, just looking at these schedules, it's pretty much whoever's coming out of the East between Ohio State and Michigan in the Big Ten.
The only way I see the Big Ten game, championship game, being exciting, and I use exciting loosely because the style of football will be actually quite boring. It has to be one of those classic Iowa or Wisconsin years. The tight ends for Iowa have to be working at full cylinder. The running game has to be going, or Wisconsin has to be running that like old school twin tight end and just run it forward. Like just north-south smash mouth football. Like the only way the game is going to be competitive is if a team that is used to playing big opponents and is used to playing heavyweight football gets a spread team like Ohio State or gets a pro-style team, I use that term very loosely, like Penn State. That's the only way it's really going to even be competitive. If it's not Wisconsin or Iowa, you're basically having a blowout in a weak conference and hoping that you blow out. Ohio State has to blow everybody out. I think that the precedence that's been shown the past 2 years and the 1 year where Penn State didn't get in, Ohio State is going to have to, with that spread offense, if they keep the spread offense, you're going to have to blow everybody out the frame. Justin Fields is going to have to be a Heisman contender. Because the Big Ten, once the Big Ten schedule starts, it's easy pickings. It's easy pickings. And if they beat Michigan, it doesn't matter what Michigan's record is. That's not going to be as quality of a win as it was last year. Last year was supposed to be the year for Michigan. Last year, Michigan was supposed to be back. And when Ohio State got that game and ended up finishing the season 13-1, and the only loss they had was an upset to a conference rival on the road. Yeah, they were unranked. But, dude, it was a conference rival on the road. They didn't lose to Liberty. They didn't lose to FAMU. They didn't lose to Oregon State. Dude, they lost to a conference rival. Somebody they play every year. Every dog has their day. That being said, if it's not Ohio State, I don't see how a Big Ten champion makes the playoff.
ESPN has Ohio State as the favorite.
Has ESPN even made their way too early mock bracket yet?
I don't think so. Nope, I take that back. Nope, I take that back. They got Michigan winning 10.5 games and Ohio State winning 8.7.
Wait, what?
So they saying this is Michigan. This is Harbaugh's year.
They got Ohio State winning 8 games?
Yep.
Jesus. Michigan is
about 4 or 5 games that could go either way.
Man, seeing Ohio State in a regular bowl game. When's the last time that we saw Ohio State in some throwaway December bowl?
This is why it's a prediction. It's a guess. But yeah, this is your year, sir. For ESPN has a Michigan, Wisconsin.
So who? So they're saying Michigan, Wisconsin for Big Ten championship. Do you agree with that?
Wisconsin, yes. Michigan, it's. I'm gonna put reference to this, so y'all bear with me because this is what me and Dallas do. It's almost like Drew McIntyre, man. I defend Harbaugh in Michigan. You say what it is, and it's what it is. Like, how long can somebody defend a team or a person before they have to say, you know what, it is what it is?
Can James Franklin get out of his own way?
I think James Franklin ain't gonna have the talent this year.
Do you think that because Penn State, traditionally has been a pro-style team, do you think that pro-style teams in college need talent even more than the spread teams like Florida and Ohio State? Or do you think that them being pro-style somehow, some way gives them an advantage?
I'll say because it's football. In college, you gotta have athletes. The reason why Urban Meyer's been successful is because the talent that he recruits is ridiculous.
And then on top of that, when you have a spread offense, Urban Meyer is all about speed. Imagine if Al Davis could have caught on to the spread offense. Because, see, the vertical offense that Al Davis built was still made for professional football. The route concepts were simple, like 3-5-7 literally means somebody's running a 3, somebody's running a 5, and somebody's running a 7, and all that stuff. But the spread, Al Davis's love for speed, Al Davis's love for just pure athleticism and a quarterback who could gun it down deep. Al Davis should have been a spread offense like guru. Urban Meyer has taken a lot of Al Davis's concepts and moved it to the spread offense, and he did it at 2 schools. Now, Bowling Green, I don't know if he was doing the spread at Bowling Green, but I do know at Florida and Ohio State at the big-time level, he was running a spread offense, and he had track stars. Like, his skill position players were always first or second round prospects.
Forget Utah.
Did he run the spread at Utah?
How you think they beat Alabama?
Oh, yeah, they did run the spread at Utah.
Alex Smith.
Alex Smith at Utah State. Steve Smith went to Utah, though.
I think it was Utah, Alex Smith. He had a quarterback.
He had a quarterback, but it wasn't Alex Smith.
You sure? I think it was Alex Smith. Man.
Because they go to Utah.
That's the year Alex Smith got drafted. He was like the top 8.
So who was the motherfucker that went to Utah State and got drafted high?
That I don't know.
Yeah. Well, wait. So how the hell did Alex Smith turn into went from a spread quarterback at Urban Meyer's offense to what the hell he became?
Yep, he went to Utah. Utah Utes.
How the hell did he go from running a spread offense for Urban Meyer to being a check down Charlie?
That was when Utah was still part of the Mountain West.
Before they went on to bigger and better things.
Yep.
Damn. Who the hell was relevant from Utah? Okay, well, I look at Utah State notable alumni. But yeah, dude, I mean, but James Franklin, I don't know. He had things going in the SEC when he was at Vanderbilt, but the SEC is a different conference. The SEC, you need to learn how to play big boy football and play it quick because everybody in the SEC is going to the league. They're at least getting an invite to a training camp. Like, everybody on the SEC team is at least going to get a tryout. They might not make the team. They might even make a training camp roster, but everybody is going to get a tryout. No other conference can say that. No other conference can say any dude that plays is going to get a tryout. I mean, you got dudes from the SEC that have like 22 receptions for 348 yards being 7th round picks because they played in the most competitive conference in football. But in the Big Ten, it's like, everybody's playing old school football. There's a difference between playing smash mouth football and playing old school football. The Big Ten, they really just run forward. They don't, they might do an off tackle every now and then. It's really boring. I mean, they're still throwing the short routes to tight ends. I mean, the Iowa tight ends, both of them went in the first round because them MFers can block and catch. Like, dude, they still have blocking tight ends at Iowa. Like, the Big Ten is the only conference really spitting out tight ends that could block like that.
Matter of fact, they got 2 drafted this past draft.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, dude, like the Big Ten is still playing 60s football. The Big Ten is still playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And when you throw the ball, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. In this SEC, Nick Saban, as soon as he got a quarterback, started lighting people up. Florida, even though they play a smash mouth spread. Georgia, even though they play a smash mouth spread. When their quarterbacks can handle the workload, they light people up. They have the receivers for it. With the Big Ten, it's like, okay, we know Ohio State's got some receivers because they run a spread, but who else has a receiver that's that good? Who else has a receiver that, is going to be good for 50 catches and 650 plus yards? We don't know that in the Big Ten. So with Penn State being down, with Penn State still having to get over the things that they have to get over, it's kind of hard to recruit. And when you run a pro-style offense, you need a quarterback that can get a pro-style offense coming out of high school. And you need a line that can hold for at least a 3, 5, or 7-step drop. And you need receivers that can run the right route. You need tight ends who can stay in the pass block and catch a route. And I don't know how much longer it's going to be, because when James Franklin had Saquon, it was perfect because Saquon is the perfect West Coast offense running back. Then Saquon had a dude behind him that wasn't as good, but he was ready. Now it's like, dude, do you even have the running back needed to get a pro-style offense really going?
That's what it is. I got Michigan, Wisconsin. What you got?
I'll do Michigan, Wisconsin solely for the fact that I find it extremely hard to believe. I think people on Twitter are not grasping the fact that they lost their head coach and their starting quarterback. Dude, let's not underestimate the level of talent that they've lost over the years. They lost both Bosa brothers. They lost Ezekiel Elliott. They lost Michael Thomas. They lost Dwayne Haskins. They've been losing big pieces of talent. And to be honest, dude, the people behind these guys after they leave, they all right, but they ain't them. So, it's
Harbaugh, you better get it done. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're picking Michigan to come out of the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 2 conferences down. Clemson out of the ACC, and you'll be stupid enough to pick against them.
Trying to pay off that mortgage.
And we picking Michigan. So
you won't pay off the mortgage picking Michigan, but you might pay off the Fiesta.
So that's that. Next week, we'll dive into Jalen Hurts, Oklahoma in the Big 12.
A conference that plays no defense yet is very competitive.
But how much of a favorite is Oklahoma? We'll get into that.
And can they have 3 Heisman quarterbacks back to back to back?
And then we started our NFL podcast. It is out there. It is open. We talked about the East Division, AFC East and NFC East. Check that out. And let's see. A preview of wrestling.
It's a Big 4 weekend, which means we have a TakeOver and we have a SummerSlam. Of course, we think TakeOver is going to be the better show of the weekend again. But hey, you never know. Surprises, surprises. Impromptu matches will probably be happening. Asterisk, hashtag, cards subject to change. Watch the kickoff show. You will probably miss a lot.
So there you go. Until next week, we're talking Big 12. Enjoy your day.
Later.